This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, July the 17th, is a kicker in the NFL who is known for one bad kick, although it has ruined his career in a sense. However, let's not forget that there were some key analytics at play that show that maybe he might not have been able to kick that field goal. Who knows? But anyway, we're talking about Scott Norwood, who's 63 years old today. Scott Norwood played 7 years with the Bills. And no, despite what you think, that kick at Super Bowl 25 did not end his Bills career. He played one more year with the Bills. He didn't play for anyone else. Anyway, so Scott Norwood was born in Virginia and played football and soccer at James Madison University and got a business degree. Atlanta signed him to be on their practice squad, but he didn't play in any games. So when the USFL came calling, like the USFL started up, he's like, let's try that. So he went to Birmingham to play a couple years with the Birmingham Stallions before he got replaced. Buffalo had a keen eye for picking up USFL talent. After all, they did have Jim Kelly. All that. So anyway, after the USFL collapsed, Buffalo picked him up and he beat out Todd Schloppy. What a name for the starting kicker position. He was one of the Bills' assets they picked up in the mid-'80s, including Jim Kelly, Furman Thomas, and Bruce Smith. So anyway, Buffalo looked pretty good and all that. After a while, he became the highest scoring player in Buffalo Bills history. Well, when you get a kicker and you kick a field goal, you get 3 points, and extra points are 1. But, I mean, when you score a touchdown, you get 6 points. So the Buffalo all-time scorer before Scott Norwood was, yes, O.J. frickin' Simpson. Anyway, he looked pretty good for the Bills and all that. He led the NFL in scoring in the 1988 season. So that was pretty good, don't you think? Anyway. So Super Bowl 25 happened. It was wide right. Norwood did not have a good field goal range, which was unusual for a kicker who could kick like 50-yard field goals like Morton Anderson. And he couldn't kick over 40 yards. And all that. And another big mistake was that the Bills played on AstroTurf. And that he couldn't kick on grass. As Tampa Stadium was grass for Super Bowl 25. It was a good Super Bowl, though. It was the lowest scoring deficit ever. The closest Super Bowl ever. Well, it is, 1 point. Yes, it is supposed to be that way because games can't end in a tie. So anyway, Buffalo did try to ruin Jeff Hostetler and the Giants, but they failed miserably. And Hostetler and the Giants did the one big strategy. Keep the ball on the ground. Time of possession, knowing about Buffalo's K-gun offense. So then, he went for a 47-yard field goal with 8 seconds left. Although Buffalo could have tried a quick pass to the sidelines to gain some more yardage for Norwood. Norwood had a chance to put everything to rest with a 47-yard field goal. Now, I'll be honest with you. Anything over 40 yards is not a gimme. Except if you put it down the middle and you have to kick it down the pike. That's a fair assessment. All that. The wind wasn't a factor in this one. So anyway, Norwood went wide right, missing it, and giving the Giants their second ever Super Bowl victory. They actually said that the holder aligned the laces to the right, meaning that the ball was fading right in the air. I had not known that. When I'm looking at this, it's like, how come I never knew this about the holder making this mistake to the right? It just doesn't make sense. So anyway, it was huge and all that. But of course, as I said, that this field goal is too overhyped. I mean, Norwood was 1 of 5 in his career for field goal attempts of more than 40 yards on grass. So, like, it was just awkward. While the Bills had no timeouts and all that. Like I said, they could have easily tried a quick throw to the sidelines and all that. But anyway, Adam Lingner was the long snapper. Frank Reich, the backup quarterback, would be the holder and all that. But he made a mistake with the laces. All that. So yeah, that was a big aftermath and all that. So yeah, it was just like terrible and all that. The wide right game. And worst of all, Buffalo decided to get rid of Norwood or find a replacement. And they found Bjorn Nitmo, who was this pretty good kicker. I believe he played in the World Football League. All that, and he used to play for Tampa. He was a potential replacement. But after Nitmo did not impress with the Bills in training camp, they signed Norwood back. Norwood was given 1 more year to make things happen. And he did okay. I mean, the Bills got to the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight year, and it was not Norwood's fault this time that when the Bills lost. It was Berman Thomas's fault, in a sense, for misplacing his helmet and losing momentum. In fact, Norwood kicked a massive 44-yard field goal against the Broncos in the AFC title game to go to the Super Bowl. But, of course, that was on natural turf. As I said, it's overrated because, I mean, Norwood did not have the best range on grass. And 47 yards is hard to do in the first place. Many kickers can't go past 40. So, like, cut Norwood a break. Norwood was waived in the 91 offseason after the Bills signed Steve Christie of Oakville, Ontario, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, Steve Christie went on to do some very good field goal work, especially kicking the winning field goal in that famous comeback Buffalo against Houston in the 93 playoffs. Norwood actually completely disappeared from the public eye after he was waived by Buffalo. He became an insurance salesman and then became a real estate agent, moving back to Buffalo in 2002. His career was pretty good. In 1988, he had 32 field goals and 129 points, leading the NFL in both categories. In 7 seasons, he went 133 for 184 on field goals, 72%, with 670 points. In the playoffs, he was 13 for 18 in the postseason. Unfortunately, one of his 2 misses in 1990 was that wide right. Well, now Norwood lives in Centerville, Virginia, with his wife and 3 children. In fact, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, kind of alluded to this and all that. The key point was the kicker for the Miami Dolphins named Ray Finkel, who missed a field goal in Super Bowl 17, making the Dolphins lose to the Redskins. Of course, we all know Washington won 27-17 thanks to John Riggins and his powerful run for a touchdown. Of course, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective had been criticized, not because of the football aspects, but the fact that Ray Finkel was a woman. And, you know, back in 1994, that was not cool. Think about the backlash 30 years later. Terrible. I mean, yeah, it was weird. But the fact of the matter is that Norwood was kind of referenced in a subtle way. But anyway, Scott Norwood should not be blamed for everything. He was a good kicker. I mean, he was the predecessor for Steve Christie. And yeah, you know what? Buffalo lost the Super Bowl because of that kick. But dude, 47 yards, which is not easy to do by many kickers in the NFL these days, and on grass. That's a different thing. And Frank Reich did ruin the laces to the right. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.